And we're back on the show.
We're back here.
You scooch over a little bit.
What do you want me to do? Right out
the window? The window? That's what everybody complains about.
You want me to back up?
And who's this Brad Sluvis? It says there. Who's that?
I wonder who that is because I don't know what's going on with
who's
you.
this Brad?
Put DBoss and Hugh. I'm DBoss. This is Hugh. We don't know who that alien is.
We don't know who it is. Okay, let's get.
But anyways, we want to start talking with Lawrence because he got so much stuff to talk about.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen Lawrence because he moved out of the building. When was that, Lawrence? I mean, before
that was in July. In July this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
that's not that long.
Kind of in the middle of the lockdown.
Yeah.
Thing, right?
Yeah. And we weren't really using the office during lockdown anyway, so it was a good move.
And Lawrence has a lot of products that we use every day.
Well,
every day.
Actually, let's talk about the Resell It Now business if we can,
sure.
just to give people an idea because you guys are still doing that. And what's that all about?
Resell It Now is what we call a buyback company. We work with the major carriers here in Canada, mainly Bell, to get used phones from their clients, especially when they're doing upgrades. Like say they'll have 500 units of iPhones, iPhone 5, 6s. That's what, when we started, that's what we were getting. When Bell does signs a new term with a large client, they'll give them new iPhones, say iPhone 7s. So they'll have, lots of old ones, some of them working, some of them not, some of them beat up or whatever. We would agree to buy those. So we would take them in, assess them, refurbish them, and then eventually, hopefully, resell them. Right. So that's why we got the name Resell It Now. That's where we got it from.
Okay, cool. And I'm just curious. So, and then where do you find the market for people to buy those phones once they've been put back on the market?
There's a pretty big market all over Canada, especially for iPhones. Never a problem. You can sell them online. We sold Amazon, through eBay, and also to resellers here in the city. Like at the time, flea markets. A lot of people at flea markets would buy them, or the little retail stores that you see on Yonge Street here in Toronto. Businesses like that. There was a pretty large market for those. The difficulty is with the non-Apple or Samsung phones, the ones that people haven't really heard of. You know what I mean?
Like Huawei.
Yes, exactly.
iPhone.
You have that, Brett? Oh, okay.
Those are more difficult to resell because people aren't generally going out looking for Huawei's. You know what I mean? So then we might hold on to them longer, and that's what we found. That was a learning in when we started the business, is that you have to really forecast the final resale value and how easily or fast it sells as well into your calculations. You know what I mean?
So how, with the COVID and stuff going on, how are you doing business differently now?
Well, there aren't as much buyback opportunities. It's just not a priority for businesses who are trying to figure out how they're going to do business in this, new environment that we're all living through or trying to. So that's not a high. Collecting old phones and, cataloging them is not really a high priority for them, right? So it's been slower, much, much slower, right? So we have lead more on the sourcing part of that company, right? So we haven't really talked about sourcing yet, but what it is this
the new company?
This is the new company, but we started doing that with the old company.
Okay.
Right. So.
Yeah. Okay. So let's maybe we could just kind of take a fresh start on this new conversation about the new company.
Sure.
Do you want to just say what the name of the company is? So
the new name is SourceCo Solutions.
Okay, SourceCo Solutions. And so this is something you started doing with Resell It Now.
Yes.
A different aspect of the business, and now you're going to do it within a new company.
Yes,
right?
And within a whole new marketing scheme and web advertising and so on. So we're splitting it off and we're being very focused on that with the new company, right? Rather than mixing the two, right?
So you're transitioning. So what you're doing, you're more transitioning to online due to the current situation,
Yeah.
to selling and stuff. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Just put, pictures and you tell people what the actual product is, right?
Yes.
Refurbished, or if it's coming somewhere.
Yes. And, I can tell you what sourcing is, or at least in our vision it is.
Yeah.
So we started getting, once we got, a reputation to have these phones available, like you were saying, to, people, when people knew that we had these, we had a lot of companies who would come back to us and say, can you find me this? Can you find me that? Sometimes we would have it, preferably, but sometimes we would be able to get it through our various contacts, right? And a few years ago here in Canada, they implemented something called Bring Your Own Device. I don't know if you know this or not, but it would allow companies to change carriers and bring their own devices rather than having to get brand new devices, right? So if they're going from Rogers to Bell, the old model, they would need to sell their old Rogers equipment, which is where Re-Sell-It would come in, and get new Bell equipment. But now, by law, they're able to bring all their Rogers equipment over to Bell, and Bell must, transition them
That
for
makes
them.
sense.
Right?
Well, that's well, that works out because you always got to buy new. Whenever you go to a new carrier, you all had to buy their phone or their type of phone or their type of
So
stuff.
everybody's buying phones they don't really need because they already got a phone.
Exactly, right? So, and
you just paid big money for a phone. Here you gotta go buy another one because you're gonna change your
Although I wouldn't mind doing that right now with my Huawei. You know what I'm saying?
we should talk after.
Well, maybe I can get a phone too.
I'll trade you.
No, I'm not trading in. I'm sorry, my Samsung. I'm not trading that to you.
So okay, Lawrence. So because just because you got this new demand, this new market that they want something, so you're creating a company around it.
Yeah, I mean, what we found was companies would come to us to buy extra old phones that the carriers don't sell anymore. So say they had, I don't know, iPhone 7s now, and they want to keep them. They don't need to. Maybe they have an install base of applications. When you upgrade your hardware, when the company does, it's a pretty big operation. It involves retraining, the users, the employees to use the new phone. And if they have applications, it may involve redoing the application, retesting it, re-releasing it. So
it's a nightmare for the company.
It is a nightmare. So they prefer to do, to keep the same, pieces of equipment, right? So we started selling them, extra equipment, like, so that they could top up their existing, inventory. And more and more, they would come to us for a cheaper alternative, rather than just topping up their existing supply. They would go to a newer phone, say one that's a year old or something, but rather than buying it from the carrier, they would buy it from us and save maybe 30-40%, right? Because
but you probably have to go source those somewhere because you got to find enough for the company, right?
Exactly. And that's been the trick. That's been, the hardest part is sometimes what they want is not easy to find, right? But we find them, right? We find a way.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask something. You're probably not going to want to answer. You don't have to push the mic over
I want to make sure people hear this.
They can hear me. Trust me, they can hear me.
Okay.
this you, man, I'm telling you.
But it's
People don't listen to you. But I want to ask Lawrence, what is your favorite phone? Is it Samsung or Android?
I shouldn't take sides. I don't want to offend anyone.
Or is that what you have?
Huawei. Everyone's favorite.
Well, it's not.
I heard that one before. Today.
Well, that's the one that Canadian is being held in jail in China for, right?
Yeah.
So,
Of course, you would have that phone, right?
yeah, give me one of those.
So you don't want to tell us? You don't want to tell us, Lawrence, which one? What kind of phone do you have then?
I do have a Samsung.
You see? You see?
But
I'm just saying. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it depends on what you're used to. If you always used Apple, then you're gonna prefer that hands down to Samsung because they're slightly different. The operating systems are different. So it's whatever you're used to. I like Samsung.
But a lot of people don't like Apple with all these changes, because there's only the statistics show that 84% of the people use Android.
Yeah, Android is way more
right?
popular. Yeah, it's way more prevalent in the world. There are a lot more Android phones, like Huawei is an Android. Samsung Android, and a lot of other ones.
Well, one thing that I've learned, and I think is useful information for everybody that's watching this interview, is that you can walk away from this interview knowing that iPhones and Samsungs are the ones that retain their value in the marketplace.
True.
Right?
So if you have any, then you can make some money by selling it. A lot of people do. On Kijiji and on the Facebook Marketplace, you see them all the time. Yeah.
Do you train? Because a lot of people, when they get their phones, right? And I find that the place where I get my phones from and stuff like that is somebody similar, does stuff similar to you. Probably know them. I don't want to say them because we're advertising you today. Do you show the people how to, different things to install? Because I find that a lot of people don't. They get in these phones, but then they may want to buy the most expensive phone, but they don't really know how to use it.
Yeah, that's true. That we do not.
You're right. You don't use the phone.
We don't get into that really. You know what I mean?
You don't get into that.
No, I mean that is a lot of people have that problem, and sometimes when I get a phone from a friend and so on, I get that request. But I can't do this and I can't do that. If we did that sort of support, we'd be doing nothing else. Really,
and nobody wants to pay for that anyway.
Nobody wants to pay for it. It's not very lucrative.
I usually just get somebody like my nephew or someone like, hey, okay, you don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this, and they just go like they seem, these university calls, they seem to know exactly what you need on your phone and what you don't need, because some people think they need all these things, and then they get the phone and they don't
use most of it. Yeah.
I use all of mine mostly.
You do?
Do you?
No.
He doesn't even know how to use the phone. People, he doesn't know how to use the phone.
I do. You can make a call right now and I could talk to you on my phone.
What?
I know how to use the calculator on it too. So there.
Okay.
Lawrence, okay. So just getting down. So you got the two businesses, and one is for now the source code solutions. Is that really strictly about phones, or is that other kinds of things as well?
We have done computers as well. What we like to say is like electronic equipment. Anything electronic we can source.
Oh.
So you just don't do phones then?
No, we do
laptops?
95. Yeah, a little bit.
We gotta get a new laptop and stuff.
I gotta buy some new laptops.
We not from O'Reilly. I'm gonna,
new.
if anything, we get something from Lawrence.
Like, seriously, Lawrence.
Sure.
Do you have, like, say we needed some laptops?
Yeah, you let me know what you need. We don't have a lot in store right now, but I can source them. This is what we do. I can get you a good deal.
How about desktops?
Desktops as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good, because people probably thought maybe you only did the phones and stuff, and then here, now you do. So what other stuff besides the laptops, desktops, the phones that you do?
Well, tablets. I consider them. Tablets. You know what I mean. They can be either category, right? A phone. They might have, LTE capability, for instance, right, where they connect to the cellular network, or they might just be Wi-Fi, capable, right?
And the printers too?
No, not really.
No printers?
No, not really. Yeah.
So, what about this 5G? They say it's coming. Is it here yet, Lawrence? Do you know anything about that?
I know a little bit, not a lot. 5G, the fifth generation of that kind of technology. LTE, what I just mentioned, that's the fourth generation. That's 4G, right? And that's what most phones have. Newer phones coming out this year have 5G capabilities, right? And that just means that they're compatible with the new generation of communications equipment.
Right.
I don't believe, and I hope this isn't controversial, I don't believe 5G is dangerous. I've heard people say that. I think it's ridiculous, personally. There's nothing dangerous about the range that they're using to transmit. It's safe. It's scientifically proven. I haven't seen any evidence to the contrary, right? So
Okay, because that is something, I am concerned about 5G, because I saw some YouTube videos about it.
DBoss. We know you're concerned about it, but I want to ask Lawrence something.
There we go. Do it.
Where do you come from? We've got to ask him that when he came on.
I'm glad you're asking it. Go ahead.
Where do I come from? Markham area. I'm kidding.
Where?
What do you mean by that? Markham.
Markham?
You got to be more specific.
Where do you come from? Your background?
My background is Jamaican, and we have a little bit of connection to Africa. Some of my cousins are actually from Africa. So
which part?
Nigeria. So,
You see, they got some relatives of you. I'm talking about you.
Because I got a brother-in-law who's Nigerian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also we're talking off air. Lawrence has been to Barbados.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went there a few years ago now to Bridgetown, a place called Eagle Point. I don't know if you know it.
Eagle Point, yeah.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah, yeah.
It's not hard. Barbados it's big. It's not a big place. It's small, but we got a lot of people coming from there. They mass produce, I guess. What are you gonna say?
Wow.
Well, you gotta go to sex ed 101 then. You gotta go to sex 101. Then they'll tell you how.
Maybe Lawrence knows about it.
Well, he knows. He's from Jamaica. They produce a lot there too.
It's a small island. It was much smaller than I thought. You know what I mean? When the plane was landing, it looked like there might not be enough room.
Well,
it does it because it banks those 3 banks, so that's when you know you're going to Barbados. It comes around the top bank, and then next thing you're on the runway. When I first was there too, I thought the same thing. I thought, oh my gosh, are they gonna land? Because you're so used to Pearson and Long.
Yeah.
Coming in. That no, you got to really know how to land.
Or Jamaica, which is a big island compared to.
I haven't been to Jamaica yet. I have to go.
I haven't been there either.
I thought you were. You were talking. I thought you'd been there.
It's a big island. I could see it on the map.
Along with everybody else. Along with everybody else, you can see it on the map. But what part of Jamaica do you?
My family.
Your family, yeah.
It's from St. Catherine's, that parish, which is I don't know. I think it's near Kingston.
Okay.
Possibly.
You've been there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So you never know. Some people, just don't know.
So Lawrence, now we've got. Let's just give out some of the contact info for the websites for the 2 businesses.
Sure.
Let's start with resell. What is it? Re-sellitnow.com.
Yeah. Re-sellitnow.com.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And who would be the primary people that would benefit, like, by getting in touch? Your primary market, either primary sellers or primary buyers for that business.
Yeah, sellers is or are any all the people who have old equipment that they want to get rid of.
Old phones primarily.
Yeah, exactly. But we also entertain other things too
because of the source.
Yeah.
Source.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can. We would, engage with anybody who has, something to sell, basically, for the buyback portion. For the sourcing portion, like I said, we still do it through Resell It Now at the moment, and we are starting. We've just started. We've just incorporated. We've just created Source Code Solutions, and
like the name.
Yeah, but we can be contacted through either entity at the moment. And for Source Co, it's anybody who's looking for, a specific electronic equipment in quantity. I don't want to. Yeah, we wouldn't do something like 1 or 2, but it would have to be minimum 10 and then up to whatever.
Okay, so companies say they're looking for, maybe they want to get new laptops for everybody or new, or new upgrade on their phone system. 10 units or more, they can get in touch with you and you can source it for them.
Exactly.
Is that just in Canada primarily, or would that be other locations as well?
We deal right now with Canadian companies, but that's just by coincidence. We can do it anywhere, really. We source from the U.S. a lot, in terms of what we buy for these companies that are looking for these things, because the US is the biggest market around here, so we can find a lot of things in the US that we can't in Canada. So yeah,
You don't have no problems with the COVID and then getting the stuff to come to you, right? No?
it's slower. It's
Oh,
slower.
okay.
This is better. At the beginning of the pandemic, it was ridiculous.
Brutal.
Oh yeah, it would take weeks and weeks and weeks to get things.
And
But
then
things are
everything
better.
comes in. It was in, I think, May or June. All your packages
Well,
you
it's from-
ordered from.
That's what happened to me.
They all came in bulk.
Yeah, I ordered something from China, and I got it in it's ridiculous. It took me
In June or something.
Yeah, after I canceled the order, I said it's just not coming, and then it finally came.
You gotta pay again.
I think I never unpaid.
Okay.
We had sold a bunch of things in European countries, and then the pandemic happened while they were underway, and literally months we had to refund the payments before they got there, because it was just taking months, and rather than pissing off our customers,
Wow.
to do that.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great.
So again, people can get in touch with you, Lawrence, at re-sellitnow.com.
Re-sellitnow, ReSellitnow.com. Yeah.
I like the name too. And Source Code Solutions. I like that name too. You can remember. It's very catchy.
And coming this week, there will be a sourcecodesolutions.com as well. That's what we're building this week.
SourceCodeSolutions.com.
Right? That's,
And they can order online there, right? Too.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
okay, Lawrence.
All right.
Thanks for doing this today. That was great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and
Thank you
you
for
give
inviting
everybody
me.
some information. Now, people will order from him. Order and check out before you get some other stuff, because he got all different things.
Okay, so we're gonna take a little break, and then we're coming back with Talk It Out. So
With Shell, DJ Despair, and our special guest.